This is our last example of our linear multiple reps, and in this one we're going to be given a graph. And the situation is talking about, if you look at the top, circle circumference, and that's also how the graph is titled, circumference. And circumference deals with circles, and you'll also notice it's got the diameter is the x. I'm going to go ahead and label on the table. The circumference is the y. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the information out of the table here. Now, some of the numbers it doesn't give me really clear over here, so I'm going to look at what I've got. I may change some of the numbers in the table. I've got 0 is with 0, and I've got 4 is sort of in the middle, but 8. 8 looks really good because 8 is right on this line here. So 8 is at the 25. So it doesn't really have that on there, but I might change it so that this is 8 and that's a 25 because I'm looking for good numbers. And then 16 looks really good. 16 is at the 50. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this 20 or the 10. Yeah, the 10's not even marked on there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the 12 there, but I'm going to change this to 16, and I'm going to use the 50 because you can change your table. You can use the table data. You can use any points that you want on there. But the 0, 0 is a good point, and it's got a 4 there. It doesn't really have the 1. And if you look at the 1, it's hard to tell where it is. So I'm going to take off that 1, and I'm going to use that 4. So if I look at what's going on here, I can sort of get a good guesstimate here. From 0 to 25, and notice I am skipping, it went up 25. Okay, from 0 to 8, that goes up 8. And if I do it again, 25 to 50, that's up 25. But over here, 8 to 16, that's up 8. Okay, well, if I sort of go halfway, instead of going up 8, I go up 4 on the x side, I could go up halfway on the y side. So instead of going up 25, I can realize that half of 25 is 12 and a half. I can go up 12 and a half. So this first number here would be like a 12 and a half. And then from 25 to the next one would also be a 12 and a half. So that's how it's going up on the table. So that would be 37.5. And then the next time it went up here to there, again up 12.5. That would be 62.5. Now, if you actually wanted to figure out the slope, go back and use the blue numbers that I originally had on there. So from here to here, that was a jump of 25. And on the other side, for the blue numbers, that was a jump of 8. So your y change is a 25, and your x change is an 8. And those are the numbers that we can use as far as figuring out the slope, which is the m. You put the y number on top, which was the 25, and you put the x number on bottom, which was the 8. And our starting value was right here at the 0, 0. So our starting value is a 0. So if I'm going to write my equation, y equals mx plus b, and I do y equals, remember, m is my slope. That's going to be 25 over the 8. And I'm going to put my x plus, and my b was a 0. Remember, you do not have to use the plus 0, so I can go ahead and take that off. And if you want to use different letters, go back and look at your table. I'm going to erase some of this so we can see it a little bit better. Go back and look at your table and what it's talking about. The x is the diameter, the y is the circumference. So since y is circumference, I'm going to put c equals, and then 25 over 8, and my x is diameter, so I'm going to use a d. So we can also use those equations, that for an equation as well, and it's the same type of equation. So that's how you could start off using a graph. And yes, I did change the table numbers because the ones that they had on there just weren't working well as far as you couldn't tell where on the graph they were. So I was trying to use good points on the graph, and those were the ones that had the point in the corners, which was here and there, and then try to figure out the slope and some other numbers after that.